Hello guys, my name is Andres and here we are working on question number 5. So question number 5 says to create a drop-down list to select the quality rating using the values on cells G4 and G6, meaning this right here. And it says to use SUMIFs, COUNTIFs, AVERAGEIFs functions to calculate the corresponding summary information for the selected gender using the data provided. Excuse me. So first off, to create a drop-down list, all we have to do is go on data up here, and we would go to the data validation. We would click here on validation criteria, we'll click the list, and then for the source, we'll click right here. We highlight these three, and that's about it. So once you do that and you click OK, you'll have a list done, and it lets you pick what type of quality rating we're going to use for our customers. So before anything, this chart here wasn't here. What I did was I went to our data and I copied our columns needed for this question in specific and pasted them onto here to have easy access. So for a number of customers, we will use the COUNTIF function. For the criteria range, we would use the gender index. And then for the criteria, for that criteria range, we will use right here, we'll click on the female. Since this column here is only for females, we'll click females. And then for our second criteria range, we would use the quality rating. Then after you choose the quality rating, you will go to your criteria for that range, which would be here, whatever we select from the drop-down list. So it's very simple, guys. This is a very simple question. So yes, so now what we could do is we could copy this formula and paste it into this one. The only thing we will change is the criteria range number, the criteria number 1, which is for this cell we have it selected for female, but for this cell we are selecting male. But you can literally copy the same formula and paste it into this one and just replace the first criteria with female and male. So yeah, so then we'll go to the average age. We will use the AVERAGEIFs function. For the average range, once again, we will use what it's asking for, the age. We'll highlight the whole column for age. And then for the criteria range, what we would do is use the gender range, and then comma, which allows us to pick what would be our criteria for that range, and it would be here. We'll highlight the female cell, and then we do another comma, and we would use the range for quality rating. Once you choose the quality rating, you will click comma, and it will allow you to pick what criteria you're going to use for that range. Once again, how we did for the number of customers, we would use this cell. We will highlight this cell, and it would use any quality rating that we select from the drop-down list. Right now it's at good, so that's the what it would use for that formula. So there you go. So we have an average age of 46 years old of customers that are females and have a good quality rating. If we change this to excellent, it would be 53. So there's actually more females with an excellent quality rating than good quality rating. So we can literally copy this formula and post it here, which is for the males. And once again, how we did it for the number of customers, all we have to replace is the criteria number 1, which is the gender, and we'll choose male instead of female. And it gives her the same exact results, except but for male instead of females. Now for total site visits, all we have to do is use the SUMIFs function. For the sum range, we will use the site visits index, and then after that we click comma, and it'll take us to the criteria range number 1, which will be the gender. The gender index, we highlight that completely from top to bottom. Then we click comma, and it will allow us to use our number 1 criteria for that range, and it would be the female cell. Then we would click comma, and it would take us to the criteria range number 2. The criteria range number 2, since we're talking about total site visits, would be the highlighted site visits. And then once we're down highlighting from the top to the bottom, we would click comma and we will use the drop down list cell. And depending on what quality rating you're choosing from the list, it's what it will use for that formula. So there is a total of 12 site visits that are female that have a quality rating of good. Now if we change it, for example, to poor, there would be 13. Now if it was good, it would be 12, and if it's excellent, it would be 79. Would you look at that? So yes, let me see something. Right, sorry. I'm the wrong question. Okay. So yes, so we go to good, and yeah, total site visits. So we can literally copy this formula and paste it onto oh, am I recording? Not sure if I'm recording or not. Yes, I am. Okay, good. So yes, so we would copy this formula and paste it into the mail formula, and all we have to replace is, once again, criteria number 1, which is this highlighted purple cell. For this formula, it was female. We're just replacing the B6 with D6, which is male, and it's the same results, just for the different gender. Now for the average annual income, it's very simple, guys. All we have to use is the average ifs function, and then we will use the average range of annual income, which is highlighted here in blue. Then we'll click comma, and it will let us use our criteria range, which is the gender column. And then after you use the criteria range as a gender column, it will let you pick your first criteria. Our first criteria would be female. It's highlighted in blue, so we don't have to type in female or none of that. All we have to do is click this cell. So after that, we click comma, and it'll let us use criteria number 2, which would be the quality rating. So it would be the average annual income for females that have quality rating good. So after that, after you select the whole column for quality rating, it would be the last criteria, which would be the cell here from the drop down list. Basically any quality rating you choose from the list, it will change all the formulas here to that quality rating. So right now we're at good, and that means there is a average annual income of $70,771 that are female and have a quality rating of good. We could copy this formula and paste it once again to this, and all we would replace would be the criteria number 1. So instead of it being B6, it will be this D6 since it's male. And there you go. That's it for number 5. Honestly, it's a pretty simple question, but it's definitely very effective and efficient and helpful for any type of business needs. This will dumb down your data in a way. All right. Thank you, guys. Now to question number 6.